When I made the Blood Lodge looping guide, there was a mechanic in the game called drop vaulting. It had been in the game since the game released, and it stayed in the game for about 7 years, and this mechanic needed to get removed. But what happened is when you jumped off of any type of height that would cause you to stagger whatsoever, even if just a little bit, if you had something that was close enough by you to be able to vault, it would completely negate the stagger, and you would just vault right away. Now that got nerfed a few weeks after this Blood Lodge guide, but luckily you can still loop it just about the same way. Not quite as strong, but you can loop it the same way. So getting into it, this main building has 2 windows that can spawn. It's either going to be this one here and this one here. And little random fact that may or may not help you, all this random stuff like this truck here, this dumpster here, this over here, all this stuff always spawns in the same exact formation, which sometimes you can sort of use to connect right back to this window. This one not as much though, but with this one it does benefit a little bit, specifically having this truck here. Sometimes to that one over here as well when you get this one to spawn, but mainly it's just one teeny little thing that you can count on as well if you're getting pushed around a really weird way and then you have to loop around this once and then jump here. Medium vault! That sucked. I'm running this way instead. They have bamboozle. Interesting. Is there another pallet I can make it to? There's not. Anyway, here we go. Now this window is the stronger of the 2 because by itself, it pretty much loops itself in terms of you just run it this way. You can jump this. You can see right through this as well, so you can see if the killer doubles back or if they don't double back. But if you jump this one and the killer comes around, most of the time they'll either have that door open or they'll vault it. And even if they do either and they go around that way, you can run back here and do it again. And there's 2 things you can look through here and here to see if they double back. So this is what I meant by a window that loops itself, is then you can just jump that, run around, and then jump it again if you want to. Just like that. But of course, you're going to want to get more value off of it than just looping it normally. So the way you can do it is by running upstairs. When you run upstairs this way, especially if you had just jumped it the first time down low and you run upstairs this time, sometimes the killer might lose line of sight of you and you can just stand up here for a while looping the killer while they're literally trying to find out where you are. And when you're standing right here as far as possible, you can see them right here. You can see between that where you can see them come up the stairs, and unless it's a really short killer like Chucky or something like that, you can usually see them. Even something like Onryo, most of the time you can see. And there's little cracks in the ground too, so you can see through that as well. It's just harder to see. And then when they start getting up the stairs, you're going to walk over the edge instead of run, turn around this way and look up. A lot of times they get caught trying to look this way to see if they're going to double back or jump down that hole or come back down the stairs. But a lot of times when you jump down and you're coming to here, your actual character is blocking line of sight for when the killer would have double back. Oh god. What the fuck am I doing? So what you really want to do is look up, because you can see through the little cracks and you can see if the killer is there. And if you see the killer up there, you would just vault it. If you don't see the killer up there, then you can just wait it out, because you know the killer's either going to double back or come down through that hole as well. And you can either use extra distance or make your way back around this way to sort of reset chase again. But you really just want to look up here before you jump off. And same thing as if you're running, from the killer, you'd want to walk over the edge on purpose. There's one little thing that you can use to sort of stop, but you get to here, then you start walking, and then you turn around here. Then you're looking up, and then if you see him, then you jump. Now you have to get a big head start as well, because when you're sitting here, if they get all the way up the stairs, because the stagger is not in the drop vault is not in the game anymore, you have to make sure that you get over here in time and be able to jump it. So you have to get as big a head start as possible when you're standing up there. Now another method you can do besides just vaulting it this way and besides just running up there and doing it that way is, since you're running upstairs and you're breaking line of sight and the killer might lose which way you went in the first place, now they're gonna have to think of a few things. If you've already gone this way and you've already done the loop down low, now you can start sort of coming this way. And the funny thing about this is when the killer gets around that corner, a lot of times they're only thinking about going that way. And when you come down here, same thing, you walk around the corner. By the time you get to this window to jump, they might have already jumped down up top, because they heard you jump down and they weren't thinking exactly where it was coming from. So they're like, oh, he jumped, and they come down here and you're on the inside of this already without even having vaulted. But you do not want to run to this hole first, because if you run to this hole first, it kind of eliminates the whole option of it being there, because you really need them to think that the only 2 options you're thinking of looping is jumping off of this and jumping just the window by itself down low. But once you've been looping that one by itself and this one up here, that's when every now and then you can throw in this hole up here. And the funny thing is if they're coming up this way anyway, when you walk around the corner and you go, you don't stagger a crazy amount and you can keep going. And there's no possible way for the killer to get to the other side of the hole so that they would be able to readjust. The best they can do is come to this thing and go this way, which is not quite going that way, which means they might have to swing down into you to be able to get towards the window here. And if they swing down into you and didn't hit you, then that guarantees you're going to get a lot of distance, at least enough to be able to make it to the window. So using that hole as a way to loop as well, instead of just a way for the killer to drop down and block off where you were trying to go, is a good mix-up you can throw in there if the killer doesn't expect it. And you can really get away with it if the killer didn't expect it. Yay! That's what I was hoping for the first time. Nice. He falls down. That's fine. Run around this way. Here we go. That's how you waste 2 vaults immediately. But if we can break chase and get up the stairs. Then we get extra vaults just like that. Yay! So the other window that can spawn here is this one right here in the corner, as opposed to the one over here that is stronger. Now this one is strong by itself as well, much stronger than it appears, especially running it from this direction here. When you run into this and get here, this from here to there is a much safer distance than it really appears, especially because of this stuff right here coming around. So if the killer tries to push you around this way and you go to jump that window and they push here, you definitely have time to at least panic medium vault right back into here safely. Now the thing about this window is it's not quite as safe running it from this direction because the killer can go right around that way. You can sit there and mind game it as well. The cool thing is once you jump the window one time, then you're immediately coming into this way, which we were just saying is a little bit stronger than it could have been. And that's just staying on ground level without incorporating the upstairs. Now incorporating the upstairs on this one is very interesting because it plays the same way the other one did, where you come here and you're waiting around the corner for them to come. But instead of walking around this way and then being able to cut right back here into this window, you're going to want to run it wide and jump off to give yourself enough distance to even hit the running vault if you really need to. So what you're going to do, you see them coming up this way and you're going to run out to here. And once you land about here, just where I landed, this is just far enough to get this running vault. Just like that, once your stagger has worn off. So that's why we're going to wait right here, wait for them to start coming up the stairs, jump over here, wait for the stagger to go, and then running vault through the window. Now the same thing, we're going to wait here, wait for the killer to start coming up the stairs, run, jump a little wide, be looking upstairs to see if they're coming, and then running vault if we need to. Just like that. Works pretty much the exact same as the other window did as well. You can do it a little bit, hugging a little bit closer as well, but that eliminates the option of being able to get the running vault, as well as possibly bumping off of that the way I just did. So with this one, a lot of time I like doing the extra wide one just because it gives the extra opportunity to hit the running vault. A lot of times you're going to run into it anyway, trying to see if you see them come out here. So it gives you that extra moment to sort of wait and see if they're going up that way anyway. And same thing, this window also does work this way when you're coming up. And if you've done that, you've already vaulted the window, then you came up here and did that one. You can also come around here and do this thing the same way. Because like I was saying before, when you come around this way, it is a lot safer than it looks, just like that. And you can get the running vault just like that. The other good thing too is if you're coming from this way and you juke it and they go on the outside, you can immediately reset by running all the way upstairs. And when you run all the way upstairs, you're in the same position to do the loop again, and they might even lose you, which gives you extra time in chase. And then once they're coming upstairs, and that's when you run and you jump and you're looking upstairs to wait to see, and then you get the running vault. Oh my god. I just ran right into him. Did I even make it anywhere if he hits me with this? Which one do I have? I messed this up. Can I make it all the way around again? Maybe. Alright, can I make it around to that other one? Yeah! Greet it. Can you make it around again? That'd be hilarious from the greed. Yay! Vault in. No! I got it. Run this way though. Yes! Let's fucking go! Oh, damn it! You lose one 50-50, you're fucking 15 seconds behind again. Oh, shit. Turn around this way again. Don't double back, please. He did! Gotta play this. Oh, nice. He kicked it. You can only kick it a few more times, right? Right? I've never seen this shit before. I wonder if this is the... Oh, shit! If this is the first clown I've seen. This same fucking thing. Am I gonna get hit this time, though? I didn't get hit last time. Damn it! It was like this. It was like deja vu. The exact same play. Is it gonna happen again? That would have been hilarious to have it happen for a third straight time. I won't lie. Oh my god. This is what I mean by losing every 50-50. It just is the worst. I don't know where I'm going, though. Oh, it is this way. Once again, better to be lucky than good. This is why people don't not play M1 killers. You see this shit? That is exactly why. Now, the last part of this main building is this pallet here. It's always going to be this pallet here, and it always spawns here. Now, the interesting thing is this thing really shouldn't connect back to the main building, but you still can, depending on if the killer greeds it enough. So I'm coming this way, and the killer goes around that way. And I'm coming around this way, and say I come around this way, and when I go around this way, the killer went back around the other way, and that gives us enough time to be able to make it to this one. Or, same thing. Say we were looping this, and the killer comes around, and then we greet it, and the killer goes around the other way, and that gives us enough distance to be able to make it back to this. Now, this really should not be enough distance, so to go from this pallet to that window, or even this window, you really need the killer to mind game himself. And what I mean by mind game himself is not even respect the pallet, because when you're coming around this, and you go to greet it, you really need the killer to not only respect it, but start to try to double back. So if you're running that way, so you came around this way the first time, and then we switch it to looping this one. And then say he pushes us this way, and then they're coming around this way, and then they double back as we're going around. That is something that you could go. Or even going the other way, same thing. Is if you're coming around this way, and then right when you get to the pallet, the killer doubles back, and you push around this way, that's what would give you enough distance to be able to make the window. But it is a play that can happen. Man, that would have been sick. Yes! Oh god. I will have to run over here. Yes! Hey, double back, I can't see shit. Alright, they left. Here we go! But what this pallet is really useful for is when it is dropped already. Now, you can either pre-drop this pallet if you want to, or if the killer hadn't broken it. Either way, you get the same amount of value off of it. But now look how useful this window can be. Because say that was already pre-dropped and the killer pushes us around towards this window right here. We jump the window, the killer either pushes around that way, or they vault through the window, and we're pushing around this way. Now, it's safer than it looks at first glance, but that's due to this part right here being a little bit wider than it really looks. So when you're coming down this thing and you jump this, you immediately are going to profit. The killer goes around the wide way, especially if you've won one single 50-50 where they go back to the other side. It literally does not matter which side. You can be on this side and they double back, But the length of this tile, if they're on the complete opposite side of that, if they're chasing you, now it definitely is long enough for you to make it back to this window without having to win a mind game. You might have to win the mind game, like I said, to reset the tile itself. But once you've won one mind game, or they're chasing, say they went around this way, and we have a big distance, so we jump this and we don't have to worry. No matter which way they push us around, if we're on top of our positioning, this tile is big enough. So if they're on that side or we were on that side and we push around, same thing. This tile is definitely big enough to make it to this. So this is definitely one of those pallets that the killer should break, because if they don't break that pallet and the survivor knows that they can loop him back and forth, this pretty much can be an infinite, at least until that window blocks. But that's the fun thing, is incorporating not only just that there with the window, but incorporating it with the window, with also coming upstairs with the window. So if you jumped the window and you came around and then you came upstairs and they thought you were going to the pallets, they didn't know which way you were coming, and then you jump down again and you come down this way, and then say they push around and they did get you and they push you through this, and they come around this way, and then you come out here and jump the pallet again. This is what I mean by it becomes almost an infinite, because obviously you can only get the 3 vaults on that window, or with the other window that can spawn, but you will not get only 3 vaults on this. This one is infinitely vaultable, and that's what I mean by this thing can be an infinite, despite only really getting 3 total vaults off of that window there. Yes, just barely. Really pound it. No, he didn't fall for it. Good shit. Good shit. Oh my god. Yay! Thought he was gonna pull it back up. And down and jump. And then back to this one. Do I have enough distance? I'm not sure. I don't think I do, actually. Damn it. Yes! Just barely! So I don't understand why he's not breaking this, I'll be honest. Back and forth. Shit, I should probably get away.